ASAP, and it is going to be probably the most anticipated thing, but he's going for it. He doesn't care that it might be too on the nose. In the bottom left, going for that 12 pull. He is the red Zerg, RiSky.
I think we have to appreciate he's rocking the Jonas Satala portrait as well. In the top right side of Everdream, we look at the main base of one of the all-time greats of StarCraft 2, hailing from Finland. It is Serral. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going, Jess.
I mean, it's just one of those things, man. I remember I asked Serral. I was like, you know, is Everdream just like dead for that 12 pull thing? And he was like kind of hemming and hawing, and you know, didn't say necessarily that it was, you know, totally bad anymore, but it is totally expected. It is not exactly a short rush distance, but there are ways to avoid the Overlord. It's like so practiced, and it is one of the shorter maps that we have. And then, you know, if you think you can stop the hatch block, this like theoretical thing we don't actually get to see very often, like with this drone, for instance, going for just the spine crawler and also seeing if there's any block. Maybe it could work, but it's a pull first this game. Like, this is not what RiSky's ideal situation is, and now it's been seen.
So it seems like Serral wants to do the wall-off thing, right? But RiSky with that one drone that went in between the two Overlords is actually going to prevent this wall-off from going up. And now I'm actually starting to get really excited already. Look at Serral. He's building 4 defensive spine crawlers himself. If I'm RiSky, I just fight, right? Wouldn't this be a great moment to just fight?
He's gonna buy time, right? So it's... Oh, well, actually, he's not really buying time. He takes an awkward fight with a couple of drones first, and his lings are kind of awkward, but then he pulls the drones. The spine crawlers are all finishing. They came out so fast. There's no waiting for that spawning pool to finish. So with 4 spine crawlers, ain't no way of breaking this.
But maybe RiSky can get all the drones. Is that an option? Let's just see where this is actually going. The spine's not really rooting yet. Oh no, there's still so many spine crawlers. Okay, I give up.
Yeah, RiSky was really hoping that it was going to be a hatch first, because even though it's really popular to do this build on Everdream, people are still a hatch first. You know, there's still 16 hatching. They still think that it's something you can get away with, which it actually is. Most defenses against a 12 pull are based around a hatch first, but in this situation, well, it's cool that he, you know, made sure to go for the block, stop that hatch wall from happening. Yeah. The pull first was granted such easy access, and he didn't hide the drones. You know, you got to just pull them through the middle. You got to get there as fast as possible. So with Serral being able to immediately slap down 4 spine crawlers, I mean, what do you even do?
I gotta say, I still like the idea. I know, like, yeah, it was a bit predictable, but I love the little touch of sending that one drone a little bit earlier and somehow sneaking it between both Overlords that were kind of close to each other. And if Serral would have gone for the hatch first, and he would have just relied on that high ground wall off, and then it didn't work. Like, we could have actually been witnessing something pretty epic. Clearly something I think that RiSky thought about, that he prepared. But I also like what Serral did there. He's like, I'm the better player. I can just go pool first. You know, what's the worst thing that could happen? He goes hatch first, I go pool first. Am I not good enough to turn that around? No, I am. So I like it from both players, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally get your point. And I think you're absolutely right. Like, Serral could go for a pool first every game here. That is like not an early pool, but a pool first and be fine. But for RiSky, he's got to take some risks. You know, no pun intended. He's got to do something that he hopes that Serral is like. I mean, it's probably some weird, like, well, he knows that I know that he knows that I know, like, you know, thing going around here, which, you know, maybe Serral is so confident in general against that build in Everdream that he does get a little overconfident. He does go for the hatch first, and then we can see what happens. But that's not the first time I've seen the 12 pulling Zerg take a drone or two to block that. And it didn't work the last time I saw it either. I feel like I am like a grand conspiracy where Zergs are like, no, the 12 pull on Everdream is really good. And we're like, when is it worked here? Like, I'm still waiting.
Well.
Oh boy. Oh geez. Submarine is the next map.
I wonder, do you think there was like the tiniest of tiny windows for RiSky to potentially kill all the drones of Serral? I mean, I know the spines were super quick, but that initial fight looked pretty promising. And then maybe if you split up the links, like, imagine if you bring Serral down to like 2 drones, then I think you can send your drones home again. It's like, yeah, okay, he's got 4 spines, but then you can just go home again.
I guess, like, well, we would have to take a really good trade, right? Like, he leaves like 8 drones and Serral only has 2, right? So I mean, maybe that could have happened. I can't actually see it happening. But once again, we got to get into game ASAP, as it's not actually the previous 12 puller going for the 12 pull. We flipped the situation a little bit here. In the top left, going for a regular macro build. It is the red Zerg, RiSky.
And in the bottom right side, we're looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom himself. He's going to turn things around. He just flipped the switch like they do it in the TikTok videos. It is Serral.
This is kind of funny. So RiSky is doing something that we have seen before, right? Didn't Rainer do this on this map against Serral, funnily enough? So it's kind of funny because we could talk a whole lot about what RiSky is doing, but we kind of have to focus on what Serral is doing.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, he's taking it one step further. He's making it look like, exactly what Rainer was doing, right? It kind of makes it look like it was a later hatchery, but just the later hatchery, not a 3 hatch before pool. But this is exactly what Serral's okay with. He's gonna get a bop on the hatchery. I have seen some funny scenarios though, Roddy, where like, because Serral's not like also drone pooling, not like super all inning, they get the natural and they go like, okay, I guess I got that for free, and then they leave. Let's see what Serral does. Let's see how much he's reading into this shenanigans.
Can Serral kill the spawning pool? Is that a possibility?
I don't think so. Because the drone pool would constantly threaten him, I guess. Like, I don't know. He's not gonna go for it though. He's, like I said, he might just take the hatchery and be like, oh, okay, and you're going for a pool first, right? So I need to get back home, but oh yeah, Serral's a little too smart for that. Sends 1 ling in. Now he sees the spawning pool time, and I gotta imagine, him having his own, being an expert of ZDZ, like, I feel like he's gotta know that something's up.
Yeah,
the drone pool is maybe gonna save his hatchery.
But I'm a bit surprised. Does RiSky really need to pull the drones here? I guess. He's got 14 links on the way now. Now, so far, this is actually looking pretty promising, I think, for RiSky. This hatchery might still go down, but with the 14 links, he's going to be fine. He still has 2 more drones. And if he keeps the hatchery alive, it gets really good. Now, obviously, a couple of drones are low on HP. The hatch does go down in the end. RiSky is losing a lot of mining time here, of course, but he's got a small ling advantage at this point, 14 against 11, but it is double queen against, like, not even 1 queen at this point.
There's a couple things that happened there. Serral sent like his reinforcing lings back home, and he was afraid that there was going to be lings popping sooner. And then he scouted and was like, oh, okay, it's not happening. So those extra lings, they didn't, they probably would have gotten the hatchery without those extra lings. But that really ensured it, I think. And then I wonder if RiSky was like just maybe willing to accept that hatchery going down and then realize like, okay, hold on, like I can do this. And I feel like if he had realized that sooner, if he had pulled the drone sooner, he might have actually been able to save it. But
yeah, or not pull them at all, right? Because then it's still a 2 base against 1 base scenario where he's got a better economy, and you're definitely not losing 2 hatcheries. You may just lose 1. I feel like out of all the potential scenarios, this was the worst case scenario for RiSky. It's obviously always going to be tricky, right? 12 pool against triple hatch before pool, but I feel like there were multiple scenarios where I'm like, maybe this works out for him, but this was definitely not the one. Because now he lost a lot of mining time. He wasn't producing anything in that time. The hatchery still went down as well. And now he's just behind in every single aspect you can possibly be behind it.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. It's the worst case scenario. He did everything to try and defend, which really hurt him. And then he lost it anyway, so it hurt him more. And now Serral is feeling quite comfortable resetting the scenario, but with a really good worker lead. His bailiness is going to be faster. He could maybe just go for the throat. He's building 8 more lings here, and it wouldn't be a bad idea, just considering that he's kind of taking control, I feel, after getting such good scouting, after actually getting the hatchery, and yes, that seems to be what he's doing, at least starting the pressure.
RiSky hit a little supply block as well. Yes, it's 3 queens at this point against just a single queen on the side of RiSky. So I honestly think that if Serral does indeed just build lings and banes here, he's just going to overrun RiSky, because I don't see how RiSky could ever keep up in production. But Serral's not really doing that. He's playing it super safe. He's getting a defensive baneling. There's a roach warren going down as well. But I feel this is one of these moments where Serral pokes, and he may just accidentally win the game, because at this point, RiSky is not capable of dealing with these amount of Zerglings, and the banelings, of course, as well from Serral.
You might be right. This might just be a bit of a pressure. I was supposed to test RiSky, but if things go according to plan for Serral, it could actually be the end of the game. One Baneling so far not doing a whole lot. 2 for 2 on the left side.
Oh.
Baneling's going to be taken out.
Oh, that was
is
beautiful.
Serral's victory.
That was beautiful.